Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam Wolf, and this is Final Fantasy Fridays. Final Fantasy XIV Fridays. And the song wasn't going on that long, Scoot, okay? It was like 5 minutes, all right? Calm yourself. You should be calm since you're stoned. Yeah, oh yeah. So terrible that you have to look at me. Okay, so today we are beginning Endwalker. The expansion begins today. We have worked so long to get to this point. And as I said last night, depending on how tonight goes in terms of how many quests we're able to do, I will try and determine whether or not we need an extra day during the week, which would more than likely be Sundays. You know, for a good handful of hours to really just kind of, you know, knock out a lot of the quests. Okay. So last Sunday, was it last Sunday? Yeah, we were working on our relic weapon just to do something other than the 14 and 16 crossover event, which was awesome. We got to face Ifrit. Oh, we're already here. Blech. But today is all about Endwalker, baby. We finally made it. Also known as suffering. Well, it's not really suffering if I can just, like, one-shot everything, so... But suffering in terms of time, yes. One thing I wanted to do, though, is actually, I do want to de-glamour myself. I only have 3 of them. Dispel. Yeah. Damn. I thought I had more. Is there a... I know, I look like a doofus, but I did promise myself that I would see different gears or armor sets as we played, so... Well, I don't know if we'll be killing any mofos today. Depends on the quests. There's a summoning bell. Okay, yeah. There's always a summoning bell somewhere. Let me see. Over here. There we go. Pretty sure I have more dispellers. So how's everybody this evening? Passive quests are dumb, murder, or I leave. Well, I don't control the quests, Scoot. So I can't give you what you want. How do I only have 3 of these, but like a ton of these? Alright, is there an inn? I mean, the place I go to is an inn, right? No. No, I guess not. Who the hell sells those again? Grand Company Quartermaster in the Tier 2 material section. So I do have to travel all the way back to Limsa. Okay. Well, we can do that. That's fine. Just do a quick teleport back to the main city. Please forgive the lack of energy. I am actually quite tired tonight, which is strange. But also I'm in a great deal of pain. My back is killing me. I'm going to schedule a chiropractor appointment next week. I'm going to a different one this time, though. Because the last guy, well, that's not it. Is it? Oh, no, it's this guy, this person. Materials? That's not it. Ah, there you go. It did say tier 2. You'll never forgive me for hurting. Well, how dare you? But I'm going to go to a different person this time just because... Dude, it's going to cost me 2,000 seals for this. Whatever. Sure. Because the last guy, while I, he did fix my back, he never once looked at my ankle. So, hopefully, the next place I go to, which is down the street from work, will listen to me. Yeah, right. Oh no. The seals that I can get infinite amounts of. Oh no. But I am wondering, can I just do this? I wonder if I still need dispellers in order to take all this off. Yep, I do. Okay, that's fine. But I love the fact that I can just do it all at once. That's so nice. So I hope everybody had a good week. I decided to keep the lighting tonight a little bit more of a mood rather than the bright white lights that allow you to see me perfectly because I don't want it. Alright, where are we? Mordona. Alright, now we can proceed. This week was better. First game was not good. It was like a 158. Second game I got a 207, I think. Third game I got a 178. So still 2 points over my average, but not as much over my average as I'd like. I was fiddling around with my positioning and I tried to adjust and it was not the right way to go, and I don't know. It was just a nightmare. So, all right, here we go. Valtamont, do you have some time to talk? I would like to gather everyone in Dawn's Respite and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves in. Let us take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Telophoroi. The Telophoroi's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of Aeon's past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs been the cause of untold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summonings. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered, at least. But after what happened to Arenvald and Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yet, while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. As you know, the Telophoroi are under the leadership of Fandaniel and one other delightful fellow, Xenos Ye Galvis, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varus, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed, and in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. 'Twas an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered, and with nary a word spoken did they labor to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events, too, were orchestrated by the Telophoroi. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of the recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way in Charlayan, I'm sure of it. Master Fortuneau's comments regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The Forum knows more than it is letting on. I forgot we were going there. Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from Mistress Kryl. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. You're to head to Limsa Lominsa and board the next ship bound for Charlayan. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Baldessian, come to assist with the Order's restoration. The arrangements may be settled, but what of your thoughts? They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. I am eager to see it, of course. Of course. We should set off at once. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. We need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you safe journey. Yeah, I know. I still can't believe this is the top gear. Like, I'm sure there's more pieces of gear that are, you know, of the same level, but I mean, it's just like, you know, stupid. By the way, this weekend I'm going to try and change that transition. I'm going to make my own. I'll make one similar. I'm just going to use an Endwalker screen. Anyway. Like I said, I promised myself that I would actually, you know, see the different, you know, pieces of gear, and because there are some awesome looking gear in this game, but wow, okay. Is this like the meeting of the Fruit Loops or something? Like, what the hell is that? What are they wearing? I mean, she looks normal. The other two just look like strippers. I don't know what they... That's pretty cool. Look at this guy. Dude, this is what's awesome about Final Fantasy is that their stuff can look cool, but it's not like World of Warcraft where it's all bulky and stuff. And it just makes no physical sense. Like a lot of the melee classes, if you will, have some pretty awesome, like, even like their pauldrons aren't like overly aggressive. See what I mean right there? That's dope. I'm muting the mic because the train's coming through. Stay out of the alleys if you don't have wet wipes. What? Everyone's here, which is good because I've already paid for your passage and the fee is non-refundable. Well, that sucks. The ship for Charlene should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and have all your luggage close at hand. My luggage is what I'm carrying on my body.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Will this be your first visit to Charlian, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Better.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just, we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
I'll bring them back safe and sound. I promise.
hold you to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Hori! Coulternay! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye, we, your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn, will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We're set to sail! All aboard for Sharlayan!
It's time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent. And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
Here. Feel. Think.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser. Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt. Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sharlayan should be coming into view at any moment.
my voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think. And thus do we meet face to face at last, my warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Why now, Heidelin?
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Heidelin has always been, a primal. Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield. Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental. Which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlayan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land. We shall meet again, and soon.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Oh, I see it.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own. if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
Made it, boys.
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Ala Mhigan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next, then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders, especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration. Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we? Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Grahat here of the Students of Baldesion at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
See how it glows. That list is etherically linked with a citizen registry kept in the main repository.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alize Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny. And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
We shall keep that in mind.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Name and occupation?
I wonder if I should say I'm the champion of Eorzea. Yeah, screw it, why not? Because I am. Valtamont Portalain, champion of Eorzea.
And it is a title well earned, I can assure you.
An adventurer by trade is what your documentation indicates. No mention of this particular title. Self-appointed, I take it. Either way, your employer seems willing to vouch for your character, so I shall, albeit reluctantly, grant you entry. Champion. And you, sir?
Estinian Valeno, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
If you'll allow me...
I love the question marks. We already know who it is.
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Croyle, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you all seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Okay, a few things. Are they trying to give Kojima a run for his money on length of cutscene? Good lord, what was that, a half hour of cutscene? That's insane. Secondly, we freaking met Hydaelyn. Oh, kind of hot. Third thing, Huff, where would you rank Endwalker in terms of best expansions? And third, or fourth, you might know this. No big deal, just your god. Yeah, she's hot. Second best Shadowbringers. That's pretty freaking good. And you might be able to answer this. There's got to be some explanation for this. Ever since we came back to the source, Grahatia seems less confident and sure of himself. Because in the first, he was like, he seemed really put together. You know, he was intelligent and coherent, and now it just seems like, not in this particular instance, but like we've seen him ever since we came back to the source. He's kind of like goofy a little bit, fumbling over himself. You know, like when we meet him and Alize, was it Alize? We went on that little adventure into that mechanical place, and he was like, I don't know, he was like gaga over the fact that he was talking to me and that we let him join our group. It's like, it's weird. He's a mix between his current day and his first, technically his future self. So he still has the intelligence, but he's just a goofy dude at this point. But yeah, that's he's like 300 plus years old in the first. Oh. He was there that long? That's crazy. That totally makes sense though, as to why he's a bumbling oaf sometimes. I don't know why they wouldn't instantly just let me in. I look like a tortured painter. That's you know, I look like I belong here. Student? Yes, I am. I am an autiste. But wow, dude, those are long cutscenes, man. I love it though. The introduction to this expansion was fantastic. I love it. So let us continue. I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. There we go. Ooh. New song for completed quest. I like it. Let's open this up. Horse chestnut. What? Weapon coffer. Did I get a better one? That's the question. Probably not. Oh, I'm wielding... Okay, I'm wielding the other one. I was like, wait a second. That's right. We were working on the relic weapon. But this is the real one I should be working on. Or should have in my possession. I forgot to dispel that. Remove. Let's keep it 100. I'm curious about that one that I just got though. Which one was it? What was it called? Gaja Grimoire. Lady Gaja. I got myself with that one. Okay. There it is. Of course it's... What does it look like though? No, come on. Why is this always deactivated? It has flowers on it. I love purple, but flowers? Ooh, yeah, it looks like we're just going to get a whole bunch of gear that I'm not going to be able to use because I just bought all the good stuff. I shouldn't have done that. I'm not going to lie. I shouldn't have bought all this gear. First of all, wasting all that gil. And secondly, I wouldn't be able to see all this stuff, you know? Ah, no. I accidentally hit my leg with the controller. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. Wrong button. But this is Valtamont and Estinian's first time in Charlayan, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Lavier estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. I am equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetherite Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. Have I know I've said it before. I love Thane-Cred's Gunblade, dude. It's so sick. I too have places I would be remiss to not visiting forthwith. Or in not visiting. By thy leave. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. Ow. Ow, my ankle. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. I mean, dude, if I was as powerful as my guy... But I could... Oh. If I was as powerful as my character, I wouldn't worry about wandering around by myself. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? She calls him Raha? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Dusty. Oh, of course, if you will have me. Come, Valtamont, Charlayan awaits. Yes, I'll be sure to go paint something. Honestly, your outfit was instant admission. She just wanted to bust your balls because you're a painter. Don't forget to update your current set in your character screen. Oh, yes. You are correct. Boop. There you go. After you, my friend. I am more than content to follow your lead. Grahati is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with your... Okay. Catch up to you so long as you remain in the same area. You can leave Grahatia behind, however, by entering a different area. You may also speak to him and select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Grahatia accompany you again, return to speak with him. Okay. Next, try speaking with Kryl. Try speaking with her? I don't have to try, I just do. All set? Then let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the Last Stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Kryl is also now accompanying you. Lead your two companions to the Last Stand and speak with Kryl at designated location. We already know about how to do this. While you are accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way which offer additional topics of discussion. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Forgot to go back to this screen. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. Righto. We might as well wander around, I guess. You know, I do suppose that this is the intro to the expansion, so they want to kind of make it all about that. With all the unusual wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an intrepid adventurer would be highly appreciated. I see no reason why you couldn't undertake any tasks which pique your interest. You have been cleared by the immigration officials, after all. I look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Charlayan the same way it is in Eorzea. This place is called the Peristyle, and it is the first stop for cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation, but also supplies that further Charlayan's pursuit of knowledge, namely large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly seemed to keep the attendants busy. I would say so. If that's what I was doing all day, I'd be busy too. So, Mikote naming is weird. Yes, I know. Which also known as Mithra. I call them by their 11 names most of the time. I think the G is the formal and the Raha is the name. The Tia indicates his status. In layman, Nun is the tribe leaders. Is for the tribe leaders. The one that gets to bang the females. And Tia are the virgin beta males. Beta! But see, I mean, keep in mind, in Final Fantasy XI, it was understood that there were no male Mithra or Mikote. So when 14 came along, it's like, oh, they do exist, or they were able to exist eventually. This path leading out towards the sea is known as the Taliak Stoa, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at its end. As you know, the Charlayan people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Taliak was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism than belief, an alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive as that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Charlayans can and do worship the divinities of their choosing. Now that is a sight one could hardly forget, the great statue of Taliak. As a student of Baldessian, I was usually quartered to the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. Oh, that guy, right? Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty huge statue, I'm not gonna lie. It's massive. Was that all the points? Just those two, huh? I guess for now. I don't think it's said in a cutscene, but I think Ishtola mentions that since he was the exarch of the Crystarium, technically he has every right to call himself Nun, since that's his tribe. I think he has every right to call himself that too. The guy freaking went to hell and back for this. He deserves every bit of that kind of leadership role. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Charlayan tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. like they don't like having flavor. How can I put this? The food is it's bland. There you go. I nailed it. As encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, which I recall. I was going to mention that. The prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste a distant second. That's too bad. There was one pupil at the stadium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer. So he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Charlayan, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. That's too bad. Because you were a typical Charlayan when it came to cheap and convenient Raha, but surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. So I press on the stairs to the side of the cafe. There will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Good. Oh, there's a... I don't want to miss this. Go for a burger. I am definitely not hungry. I actually had a pretty big lunch. I mean, I made sure of it because last time I didn't eat enough last Friday, so to speak. It didn't help my bowling at all. So I myself had a personal pizza and a brownie sundae at lunch. While that doesn't normally align with my diet, I think it's okay to enjoy some actual food every once in a while. Not that I don't eat actual food, but I eat healthier food than that. Let's go get this Aethernet shard over here. Oh, it was good. The really crappy part, again, this is why I've stopped going out so much for lunch. Used to do it once a week. My meal altogether with the tip cost me $32. I didn't even get a drink. I got water because I don't really drink beer that much anymore, for good reason. But whoa, that's a different one. I've never seen an Aetheryte crystal look like that, dude. But the pizza itself, if I had just gotten a standard like cheese, it was like $12. But I added on top of that pepperoni, bacon, mushroom, and green pepper, all $1.50 a piece. Which you wouldn't think would be too much, but then you add in the $8 for the brownie sundae plus $5 tip. It eventually just comes out to, it came out around $32, and I'm just like, this is why I stopped going out so often. It's too expensive. Okay, I think we're good. Damn trains. Always at the wrong time. An unusual shape, isn't it? I literally just talked about that. Yeah, right? $1.50 per topping, which is ridiculous. Cilantro, lime, chicken, rice, and red beans. That actually sounds really good. I'm not going to lie. It sounds way better than what I had. But this is the reason why I don't eat that stuff that much anymore. I was craving pizza today, so I was like, I want pizza. I could have eaten regular. I would have been fine with that. But I wanted to see what Dimitri was up to for lunch. And so we decided to go to a pub down the street. And I had the personal pizza. And it was amazing. But I'm paying for it. I don't feel great tonight. So I assure you, however, that is a perfectly functioning Aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Well, that was the idea. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. No, it's on. Okay, not in. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Charlene stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of Allegan Aetherites, it allows us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Charlene's largest marketplace. It was good, but not satisfying, if that makes sense. It was healthy, but sometimes you need something heavier, thicker in the arteries. See, that's the thing. I've gotten used to eating, like, the healthier stuff. Every day, I have a salad. While it's, you know, I put stuff on it, like shredded cheese, bacon bits. I also put very good chicken. Like, it's from a package, but it's Purdue. I get the honey chicken, the grilled chicken, the roasted chicken. You know, you get different types of chicken. Toss some of those pieces on there. Once a week, I'll go and do all of my, like, lunch shopping on, like, Monday. And when I'm there, I'll get my fruit as a dessert. And then I also get a pack of sushi. But then every other day, I'll make... with my salad, I'll have, like, either 1 or 2 wraps. Small ones, but still. So, needless to say, I have very good lunches and very big ones, but by this time of night, all of that has already been digested. Because it's, you know, simple carbs, good food, stuff that my body actually needs. This pizza is killing me. It has sat with me since noon. And it is almost midnight. I want to die. So that's why I don't eat like that anymore. I loved it, but it's not good. Speaking of Aetherites, those teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tended to rely on the far cheaper ferry services. I was pleasantly surprised when Mistress Tataru informed me that the Scions are reimbursed for transportation costs as part of our duties, but I find old habits hard to break. That, and I'd rather not be bothered filling out the necessary paperwork. Yeah, it's always the paperwork that's a bother. That's the entrance to the Confluence. I can't turn around yet. I have no doubt their expertise will prove useful at some point, so I suggest you remember the way here. Not there, here. Okay, that's the Confluence. It's a big building. Big shot. We have books. This little open-air bookstall, these little open-air bookstalls are so uniquely Charlene. I'd always thought them a common sight until I visited other nations. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems I've yet to read. Only a moment? How optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. Perhaps I'll return here later then. Yes, you will. You respect Kryl. Love a good salad. Grilled chicken with some English cucumbers, some cheese, hard-boiled egg, and croutons is great. Maybe some pickle or banana pepper and some balsamic vinegar, or I'll admit ranch. See, I forgot to continue. Anyway, so I do a good chunk of that. I don't have hard-boiled eggs at work, though. You actually can buy hard-boiled eggs in, like, a jar or something, so. Or individual packing. So I usually, my salad of choice, my lettuce of choice is butterleaf. There's just something about it. It's lighter. It's I don't know. I like the taste of it. I just recently finished up a couple of other Dole salad stuff that had, you know, cabbage and carrots in it and stuff. And I love all that stuff. It's just denser, you know. It's too much. I like the butterleaf by itself. I like my salads to be more green than, you know, all the other vegetables. Just because I don't feel as bad. You know what I mean? It's weird. I don't know how to describe it. I didn't feel great. I felt more full eating the more dense salad, so I like to keep it just to the leafy greens, so either butterleaf or romaine. And then I'll put some sliced up black olives, bacon bits, the chicken, banana peppers, pickled banana peppers, mild. I don't like hot in my salad, but mild, which are so much better than pickles. Shredded cheese on top, and then either Thousand Island, blue cheese, or creamy French. Creamy French is quickly becoming one of my favorite salad dressings. It's so freaking good. And then and I'm talking, this is a big bowl. I'll do the whole pack of green, you know, the butterleaf. And I get one of the Dixie branded big bowls, because we don't have any of that at work. So I'll eat that, plus the sushi, plus the small cups of fruit that I combined, the pineapple, strawberries, and blueberries, and I dump that into a big bowl. And that's my lunch, with water, of course. My thermos of water. And somehow, after eating all of that, by the end of the day, when I get home, I do my exercising, all this stuff, and I get to streaming, I'm hungry again. So it's like, it goes nicely, whereas today's meal is not going so nicely. I hate myself, but it was worth it. There's a local pizza place that has the best ranch, and they sell it, so I buy it fairly regularly. I just don't like ranch dressing. I like when I mix Hidden Valley's powdered ranch into sour cream for dip. That's when I'll eat ranch. But ranch dressing, it's just too vinegary, you know? It's just, I just don't like it as much. I like romaine, but I have been known to go with spinach on occasion. Spinach is okay. I don't mind it in my salad, but I like the lighter leafy greens. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Charlayan, as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetherite Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to that imposing building at the very top. And then on the other days, I'll have a salad, relatively the same, pretty much put together. Because see, here's the thing. The way that I'm eating, I do one meal a day. You know, one of my coworkers was like, aren't you getting sick of eating that stuff every day? Like, it's the same thing every day. And I'm like, when you're hungry, it don't matter, dude. Like, when I'm hungry by lunchtime, I love the sight of the food that I eat. Even if it's the same exact thing I ate the day before. It's just good. And it tastes good every single time. I don't know what it is, but I love this one meal a day stuff because it just opened my eyes to just the best feeling of eating. And then for my wraps, I'll get I get the small wheat, I think it's Mission brand tortillas. They're not like really big, so I usually make like 2 wraps, and it's either like ham and cheese or roast beef and cheese with some mayo and mustard. And it's pretty straightforward, simple stuff. But that's the thing, like what he didn't understand about me eating the same stuff every day, it didn't matter to me. It always tasted amazing because by that time I haven't eaten for almost 24 hours, and so it's just heaven when I finally take my first bite of food. How they did it back in the old American days was light breakfast to hold you over to lunch, and then lunch is the big meal, and light dinner to settle your stomach at night. Yeah, but the thing is that, as you know, times have changed. And I took into consideration, and the reason why I started with intermittent fasting and then it kind of worked itself into just being one meal a day, is my job. Back in the early American days, people actually worked for a living, you know what I mean? These days, while we wait for work to come in, I sit at my desk and I'm trying lately, as of late especially, I'm trying to stay up and moving around, cleaning stuff, you know, getting things organized, doing stuff most of the day. And then if I sit for like the last 1.5, 2 hours of the day, then that's fine. But my job, even when we do have work, is not the most strenuous job on my body. So I have to take that in consideration. I'm not burning energy very easily. So it seems pointless to eat that much, eat 3 square meals a day, when I'm not even burning that energy. And if I want to stave off my hunger, a cup of coffee does the trick. So a lot worked hard, a lot wrote and handled records and accounts and such. Yeah, well, I mean, again, the early Americans, even back in the early 1900s, I mean, especially back in the early 1900s and even in the 1940s and 50s and 60s, people still worked for a living, you know what I mean? They did manual labor. They did the hard stuff. These days, we've got it so easy, and I don't want to take that for granted, and it seems too easy, which I, of course, of all people know, it's too easy to get settled in your ways, and, well, when you're bored, you eat. When you're sad, you eat, or whatever the case may be, and you just, yeah, some obviously still work hard today. They do manual labor because that's what they do. But it's very easy to eat too much and be okay with that, and I'm not okay with that. I'm only 37. I feel awful. So that's why today's meal was very rare for me at this point. It's become a rarity, and that's why I stopped drinking beer. You know, I'll drink liquor, but it's not like I don't go crazy with it. But it's just like I don't drink beer because it's just not that often. I had one beer tonight, and I hated it. Like, it was a Sam Adams Winter Lager, but the aftertaste of the coffee from work was still in my mouth, and it didn't really actually give me a good taste of the beer. But at the same time, I was drinking it, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'll drink some other beers, but like, I'm not wanting it as much as I did before. You know what I mean? But it's just like, if I'm sitting, if my job is to sit and not move a whole lot, I shouldn't be eating that much. And that's where I'm at. But it's absolutely correct that things have changed both in daily exercise and the food and quality thereof. Exactly. And that's why I have gotten so into preparing my own food. Like, I've got no perishable food here at home. I've got canned goods, I've got dried goods like pasta, and I've got frozen stuff. And I did get chicken. I got chicken thighs, but I froze them immediately because, well, you unfreeze it and you eat it. But all the perishable stuff I buy for lunch at work because I don't eat anything when I come home. Maybe I'll have a glass of orange juice, but that's about it. All my lunching is done at work. And then, you know, on the weekends, I'm trying to be a little more lenient a little bit. I'll have like a breakfast maybe on a Sunday or something like that. But I'm starting to think, I think I should just keep going with the one meal a day, even on the weekends. You know, and I've got enough stuff here at home to prep to have a good meal. And I have had good meals. So, but I'm going to probably just keep going through the whole week, 7 days a week, one meal a day, and just stick to that. Otherwise, it's going to throw off my body, and, you know, I'm going to feel like I do now. Awful. This is the Nymphaeum, an area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Charlayans, water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of the great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol of the knowledge which flows from Taliek's divine ewer. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city and a propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. These little decorative features are typical of Charlayan architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters on the Isle of Val were rather simple and rustic by comparison. But yeah, that's why I feel very drained this evening. Do you consider snacking as a meal for the one meal a day life? Like, let's say, cheese and crackers or grapes or popcorn. Popcorn I have had, yes. I think that I personally, I'm okay with it, for myself anyway, because it's popcorn. You know, add a little bit of seasoning, you know, whatever you want, it's fine. Popcorn is probably the lightest snack I could possibly eat. But snacking I try and keep to a minimum. You know, if I'm feeling like a little bit peckish, I'll make popcorn or something. I actually just finished up raisins. I love raisins, so I just finished up that thing recently. But overall, like I said, perishable foods I don't have here, so I don't have fruits anymore. Because if I'm not eating after I come home from work, those fruits and vegetables and stuff, that's just all going to go bad, and it's going to be a complete waste of food and money. And I'd rather not do that. I just had to downgrade my half gallon of milk to a quart because it's the half gallon was going bad because I only eat shredded wheat, and shredded wheat will last till the end of time. So I'm not worried about the shredded wheat going bad, but I am worried about the milk going bad, and I don't want to waste that either. So, but luckily a quart actually turns out to be a good amount of milk that'll last me a week or longer than a week, even after being opened. This grand structure before you is the rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one can see the entire city spread out below. That's weird, because he was looking that way. The vista put me in a mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Charlayan. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the counselors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. I do consider small snacks fair game in the morning and evening, like something with my tea first thing in the morning. Yeah, like I'll have my coffee, like, okay, for weekends, I'll have coffee, bowl of cereal, and my yogurt with, you know, fruit bits in it. Sundays, sometimes I like to make myself a nice breakfast, so pancakes, eggs. If I bought bacon, it would be bacon, but again, perishable. If I only did it once a week, it would go bad within that week. Unless I vacuum sealed it, which does help. So, like, you know, it'll depend. But my breakfast on the weekends is like, yeah, shredded wheat, yogurt, orange juice, and coffee, which tides me over enough to lunch, and then I'll eat my lunch. I did get Yorkshire tea. It's nice. That is one tea I actually am familiar with. I personally have not drank it, but I tried it plain, then with milk and sugar, and honestly, I actually prefer the one straight, or this one straight. For bacon, just make your own bacon bits. Take it to work. Well, I actually have made my own bacon bits. I was surprised at my ability to do so. Wait, did I already get that one? I think I already got this one, right? Yes, okay. Yeah, one day I ran out of bacon bits. I'm like, I've got all these strips of bacon in the fridge. I might as well make my own. And I was like, I just assumed that you basically, just like I've seen, you know, Josh Weissman do and so many other cooks, you just cook it until until it's completely rendered out, and it turned out perfect. They were so good. I only had a Ziploc bag to put them in though, so I didn't really keep one of the containers. Next time I do that, I will. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with Archon... What the hell is that name? Nunkrep? Built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Charlayan families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Leveilleur. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Charlayan tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path below the Aetheryte Plaza. Correct. After you, Valtamont. Well, luckily, I have the power of Waypoint. But it's not waste if you eat a salad or wrap every day. That way you get your weekend bacon and eggs. And you get better quality bacon bits rather than the store-bought crap. Well, I mean, the bacon bits that I buy are the ones from Hormel that are real bacon bits, not the fake crispy ones, which are... I don't even know what those are made of. Soy? More like not gonna pronounce his name. Was that a reference to Office Space? Because that's exactly what I thought of when I saw that. Not gonna work here anymore. I love that movie. That's a classic. Oh, dude, it's such a great movie. They're like trying to find people to fire, and then they get to this one guy named Samir, and I can't remember his last name, but it's like he's like Samir not gonna work here anymore. It's so good. I love the music. It's very nice. Oh, I grabbed this shard to here too. I could have just teleported. Oh well. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive at the doorstep of Phenomenon. But I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you then. Jeez, demanding. Please be a voice cutscene. It's not. I'm back, and I've brought Valtamont and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Valtamont. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Ojika? Ojika Sunjika? Wow, I'm... Ojika Sunjika. It has been an age. Allow me to introduce Ojika Tsunjika, Administration Officer for the students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. You may recall meeting his cousin Ejika? Yes, I thought you looked familiar. Oh yes, Eureka. Did I read... Wait. I'm confused. Anyway, I've read the initial reports. Quite a shock to hear what's become of the Isle. Do take care if you have the opportunity to rejoin the expedition. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Charlayan. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from the distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the isle itself, vanished, the Annex has served as our base of operations. And yet it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telophoroi fall. Through that door on the left, there is a main hall where we can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is. You probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. Through there, I'm guessing. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. Far more than some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron and just steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. That means you slept. It wasn't a nap. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Fun fact, this is unique dialogue for if you've done the content. I never did anything Eureka related, so I didn't. What is Eureka? Did I miss something? She asked, she said, ah, yes, you remember meeting Ajika, who I'm guessing is the person at the front desk that we met. But then he says Eureka. What the hell's Eureka? Oh, I remember that. I don't remember the quest entirely, but I remember the name being, I remember doing a quest named Eureka. Yeah, I mean, I tried to do as many side quests as possible because they unlock stuff. But yeah, my point stands. It's not waste if you actually utilize the thing you already get bacon bits for. Then the reasoning changes to, do I want to spend money on this, which is fair enough. Or do you want to spend the time making it? Time equals money after all. Well, the bacon bits that are pre-packed aren't really that expensive. I dare say maybe a pack of bacon would be more expensive, but then again, in each of those containers, they say it's, I think, 6 bacon strips worth, give or take, and in a pack of bacon, I think I get more. I want to say I get at least 10 or 12. So yeah, I could make my own bacon bits. It's nothing stopping me. But, you know, well, I mean, it's whatever. We'll see. I don't mind making my own stuff, especially now. Will it save me money in the long run? I have no idea. But the thing is that when I go to buy, you know, my foodstuffs, I mean, I just go down the aisle, grab the bacon bits off the shelf. It is real bacon, though. Like, it's not that crunchy crap made from soy, I think. It's usually 12 to 14, if I recall. Yeah, I'm going to have to look. I can't remember how many. I get the, I forgot the name brand. Anyway. It's not I think it might be Hormel. No, it's not Hormel. I don't know. It's something. Anyway, Black Label bacon or something like that. Feeling refreshed and alert? I didn't even go to sleep. Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. Please be voiced.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroid's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly...
A mystery indeed.
I accidentally touched the touchpad.
Your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nadana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. 'Tis possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnairian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts. You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course! The more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Okay, so we've got two quest lines here, it looks like. This one is to Thavner, which I believe this is interesting. I've never actually no, I have. There's been one other time, and I think it was during Shadowbringers, where there were two quest lines that just basically split off. So this one will be the Thavner quest chain. And then, of course, this one's the old Sharlayan quest chain. And then after I've completed both, then we continue the main quest chain, which is very interesting. So, I think we'll go with the old Sharlayan quest chain first. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Starting soon, join us as we stream Letter from the Producer live part... What was that, 43 or whatever the heck that is? Or no, I'm sorry. 43. LX. I don't remember that. Anyway, okay. They're doing a live stream soon. Interesting. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only too many dusty pages one can skim in a day. But now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives to the western edge of the woods, or on the western edge of the woods. I'm curious, is that? Still wouldn't click that link, but it should be streamed on YouTube or something. Well, that's why I was just about to check. I'm assuming it'll be on the Square Enix official YouTube. Live. Not here. Certainly not scheduled. What about Twitch? mean, I guess I keep forgetting. You can't really schedule streams on Twitch. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing that. I think I've actually gone to a link like this before, and it was in fact. Yeah. April 12th at 9 p.m. Pacific time. So, yeah, within the next 10 minutes. Alright, there's the YouTube. Oh, it's on the Final Fantasy. Oh, the official Final Fantasy stream, which makes sense, or YouTube channel. But it's all in Japanese with no subtitles, so there's no way I'm gonna know what the hell they're saying. Unless it's like a video that they did. I got off topic earlier. My only complaint with Endwalker is how much they cram in a short amount of time, like 5.4 to the end of Endwalker. A lot happens. Almost breakneck pace. Some might call it rushed. Well, they've got a lot to tell. Though I'm surprised that they would feel the need to rush. Alright, we've only got 10 minutes left. I might actually just, like, call it here. I am feeling horrible right now. But, given the fact that we literally only covered 2 quests that entire time in the span of 2 hours. Obviously, we had like a half-hour cutscene playing, but still. We only did 2 quests. And they were introductory. So, I think it's safe to say we're going to have to double up. Because we don't have as far off as August seems. It'll get here sooner than you think. Especially when we only do 2 hours a week on this. We will miss the launch, essentially miss the launch of Dawn Trail. And I kind of want to be there at the beginning of an expansion. I have never been able to be there at the beginning of an expansion, so it'd be kind of nice to be able to do that. So I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And it was an awesome start to an expansion, and I can't wait to dive more into this. And I hope you guys will be here with me when I do. But for right now, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for joining me, and please join me again next week. Actually, Sunday, where we will continue this epic journey into Endwalker. We're going to start it at noon, so that way we have tons of time to just knock out a lot of story. And we've got a lot of story to go through, so meet me back here on Sunday for more Final Fantasy XIV and Endwalker. But until then, I'm Meta Wolf. This is Final Fantasy XIV. And I'll see you guys on Sunday.